All right, welterweight, 170. We know this is one that, it hasn't been booked, but obviously Belal, remember the name, Muhammad. He's fighting Shavkat, the almost interim champ. Everyone thought him versus Ian Garry was for the interim belt. It certainly wasn't, but pretty much was because, that was to book your ticket to fight the legend, the GOAT, Belal Muhammad. Everyone's going to pick, or who? Let's just break down this fight real quick. Who wins that? Who's the champ at the end of the year at 170?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think this belt's going to be defended another time or two before this time next year. But I got Shavkat Rakhmonov as a champion at welterweight here. I'm not saying that with confidence. I do think that Belal is very live in that fight. But I don't know. I think Shavkat has a well-rounded enough game and is better. We'll find out, but I do think he'll have enough on the feet to handle Belal, but maybe not, bro. I would not be surprised if Belal Muhammad's champion come next year. With that being said, though, I think if Belal wins this fight against Shavkat, you're going to see the UFC just throw animals at him. They don't want this guy as champion, whether it's Khamzat coming down or whether it's Islam, I don't know. And again, I think Belal's a tough fight for any of these guys, regardless. And I'm talking Khamzat, Islam. I might favor Belal in some of those fights, but I'm gonna go with Shavkat Rakhmonov to get it done against Belal and become a welterweight champ. And I think we'll see Shavkat maybe defend the belt a time or two at least. See if his game continues to evolve or not. But as of right now, I'm going with Shavkat Rakhmonov to be the champ come next year. What about you?
Yeah, well, speaking of, I've always said I need Islam to move up. Like, the Ilya thing for me, for whatever reason, I'm, changing my mind about him moving up and fighting Islam. Originally, I was really pushing for Islam to move up, which I still would prefer that. I think him versus Shavkat is fucking madness, dude. That would be a sick fight. Because the Ilya fight, it's simple to break down, right? Islam could probably take him down. Ilya obviously is the favorite on the feet. But him versus Islam versus Shavkat would be a sick fight. Here's how this is going to go. This is my kind of a fun one for me. I think Belal will beat Shavkat. I think Belal will then lose the belt in hilarious fashion. He's going to get sparked unconscious by I think Jack Della Maddalena is getting grossly overrated. He was in a fucking war with Gilbert Burns, and then Sean Brady dusted him months after that. So he, for whatever reason, is getting very overrated. But if he goes, he's probably fighting Leon in 2 weeks. I don't know why they haven't announced that fight. This guy hasn't fought in a year now that I'm thinking about it. But I think Belal will beat Shavkat. Then I think I think this belt's going to be moving around. Again, it's going to be like Bantam. I think this belt's going to move around a lot. I could see, hopefully, Islam Makhachev touches it at some point, and then he'll be retired by this time next year. He's not sticking around much longer. You ready for this name? How about Sean Brady, dude? Sean Brady looked so good. His striking completely changed, man. He looked so good in his last fight versus Gilbert Burns. I know that he got knocked out by Belal Muhammad, which, again, I think is illegal in pretty much every U.S. state. So, I don't know I think if he became champion, it might be revoked immediately. But, I just think welterweight is going to move around a lot. Again, I favor Belal over Shavkat, but, it's fucking Belal Muhammad. He's going to lose the belt in, the most bizarre way possible. He's going to get sparked out.
I think Belal's going to be a tough guy to get out of it. I'm telling you, I think he's a tough guy.
I know, but that's why. So he's going to beat Shavkat. And then what me and you have been saying this about Belal forever. Now, finally, everyone wants to say, oh, Belal, dude, low key. Who picked him to beat Leon? I'll say we did. I did not.
All right,
I was trying to freaking help you out there, pal. But he's going to lose in weird fashion. I think he'll beat Shavkat, but I think he'll lose in weird fashion. I don't
think he loses to JDM, bro. I think JDM might be able to beat Leon, but because it's going to be just an on the feet match.
All right, Sean Brady's my champion, dude. A year from now, Sean Brady, the weirdest tattoos in the game.
You think the UFC makes that?
Sean Brady's a fight, dude.
No.
All right, ready
Stop
for this?
it. A fight away. Stop it.
So we have, hopefully we get Leon versus JDM here soon. Actually, what am I talking about? You know who beats that bum?
Buckley?
Ian Garry. Come on now. I predict every fight right, dude. I don't know. Like, this is ridiculous. I said exactly how Garry versus Shavkat was going to go. It went exactly like that. Garry is, I don't know how. Is Garry fighting Buckley now, dude? Welterweight is stacked, bro. This is like a sick top 10. I think Ian Garry could be champion. Ian Garry knocks out Belal Muhammad. I changed my mind. We're sitting here a year from today. There will be flying cars, and there'll be Ian Garry as the champion of the world at 170. You can book that. 185. This is another. It's just one or the other. A year. Who knows? Actually, I'll let you talk first again. Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat. I know what you think's going to happen.
Khamzat.
Yeah.
Look, here's all that matters. If Khamzat gets it done against DDP, we all know he ain't fighting until at this time, after this time the next year. So if Khamzat beats DDP, which I'm probably gonna stay on the Khamzat train and pick him to get it done, because why would you jump off when no one's showing that they can handle what he's got to offer? I'm gonna go with Khamzat to get it done against DDP, and then I don't think we're gonna see Khamzat defend until after this time next year, right around this time next year. So
okay, but so predict over under I'll give it. DDP just fought. What's like a normal, if
they probably won't fight till summer.
Okay, August 13th. Has that fight happened?
Yeah. Barring like an injury, yeah, I think that fight's like barring someone pulling out, yeah, I think that fight happens before August 13th. Yeah,
I don't think so. I think that without predicting that fight, I think Dricus Du Plessis could still be the middleweight champ, because I don't know. Khamzat's a guy. It's like you don't believe he's fighting till he shows up. I know that's what everyone says, but
yeah.
And you don't hear from him anymore when he's not fighting. You used to hear him in 2020 when he came onto the scene. I think he was still allowed in the States back then, but you'd hear him say all this stuff. And then now he just is in hiding he fights once a year. You don't hear from him. He shows up, he breaks Robert Whittaker's face. He goes back in hiding. I mean, that fight was in October. Other than that rug pull, he did a meme coin, and I don't know. That was a big scandal or something, but, yeah, I don't know. I think Dricus Du Plessis will still be the champion, because I think it's a real shot that fight does not happen, at least anytime soon. Or maybe it'll be in the October Abu Dhabi card. Khamzat versus Dricus Du Plessis. October, when they go to Abu Dhabi, or Saudi. Are Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi the same place? It's top 10 questions science cannot answer. I got no freaking idea. I can't read a map, but that's what I think. And I also think Imavov will become champ at some point. The guy reeks it of champion after he knocks out Caio Barallo. I pronounced his name wrong. I got fucking torn to shreds. Another easy one, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I'm just going to say it. Ankalaev's taking the belt. Free money. Obviously, he's going to take the belt. Who do you have in that fight? Who do you have as the light heavyweight champion of the world about a year from now? And then strap up, because we're going to be talking for an hour about the heavyweights. So get this one out of the way.
Yeah, I do agree with you in that. Right now, I am picking Ankalaev to get it done against Alex Pereira. With that being said, if Pereira managed to get it done in the time frame worked of a Khamzat DDP fight, I think the UFC could, if they wanted a 2-division champ, it wouldn't be easier than Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira. You could take my life savings on Khamzat to get that one done inside a round. So part of me would love for Pereira to get it done, although I do think Ankalaev is going to beat him. I would love for Pereira to get it done and Khamzat to get it done, and the UFC make that fight at 205, because that would be the easiest money of the year. But with that being said, I am picking Ankalaev to get it done, and we all know 205 is just a snooze fest of a division when it comes to the true upper echelon talent. So I'll pick Ankalaev to get it done, and I think you'll see the UFC probably give Pereira an immediate rematch in which Ankalaev will make it look even easier when he flatlines him probably 2 times and gets Pereira out of there. Cool.
Instead of an immediate, I could see like Ankalaev beating him. If it's a decision win, he might get stripped. Like Dana might put the belt on Alex, like in the ring, and just walk out and then not say anything, and then he won't do the press conference. And then when you finally hear from him a month later, he'll pretend like the two had nothing to do with each other. He's like, "What was the question?" Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. I don't know.
I will have failed for drug test and he's stripped of the belt.
What was the question? Yeah, no, he's not with the UFC anymore. Yeah, everyone knows that. Yeah, dude, that's why this is a fun question saying like a year from now, because like they're fighting in a month, but like Alex is getting an immediate rematch. Light heavyweight sucks. Light heavyweight's so bad. What about Yuri versus Ankalaev? Dude, Yuri's definitely touching gold again. I don't care if no matter what, Yuri's touching the strap again. But this is a clear, immediate rematch for Alex. Again, I kind of think I'm leaning Ankalaev, or I'm just going to say right now I'm picking Ankalaev because I know I'm going to change my mind in 3 weeks before the fight. So then I'll have either option to clip and say I was right either way. It's kind of the way I roll. But Ankalaev, dude, we've said Ankalaev's going to knock him out. Ankalaev's going to strike with him. He's going to like kind of shoot a little bit, but then he's going to knock him out. In the rematch, yeah, and then he's probably going to beat him twice, dude. He's probably going to beat him twice. But there's another thing, just like some things I just can't picture. Like I can't picture this all going. I can't picture. I don't know. Ankalaev will probably be the light heavyweight champion. I could see him losing in a weird way, the same way I was just talking about Belal. But I'll say Ankalaev is the light heavyweight champion a year from now. Drum roll, please.
And on to the heavyweight division, where the pound for pound king resides, the greatest fighter of all time resides, and he will reside as champion and pound for pound #1 after he dethrones Tom Aspinall this year. International fight.
Dethrones! You said dethrones! You admit the Tom Aspinall.
No, I'm saying dethrones as in dethrones the hype train.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, dethrones the hype train that is Tom Aspinall. A guy that kind of struggled with a grandpa retirement home, Orlovsky, a guy that lost to Blades inside one, a guy that's just honestly is
15
just
seconds. It was like the quickest knockout ever.
He moves his feet a little bit. He charges in with a 1-2, and just so happens that the heavyweight division is so embarrassingly bad that he's able to do that, and people now think he's the new breed. Newsflash for you, buddy. The greatest fighter to ever live, the greatest combat athlete to ever live. Yeah, I sound like Dana, and that's just because it's the simple fact. Jon Jones, International Fight Week. Give me Jon versus Tom Aspinall. Jon will shock the world once again at 37 years old, dethrone, embarrass, break down Tom Aspinall, get a 3rd round stoppage over Mr. Aspinall, and continue to do whatever he wants. He'll have all the leverage at that point. He'll sit out far beyond February of 2026, and we will see whenever at that point he beats Aspinall. He might as well just be able to come out of the woodwork every year or 2 years, defend the belt.
Yeah, he's 40, so
the
that's
next
not
guy
happening.
that you think is great. But yeah, that's truthfully how I see heavyweight going. I see Jon Jones as champion this time next year, unless he wants to vacate the belt and retire. What do you think, Hebs? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's not even worth breaking down this fight, as we have, many a time on this channel. Usually, it goes like that. You get loud, you start saying about whatever. But Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall are never going to fight. There's no way they're going to fight. You're claiming he's going to finish the guy. He just had his first finish since the Obama administration against, I think that was my uncle out there, dressed as Stipe Miocic. My uncle's a little more jacked than that guy. Actually, Shout out to Uncle Mike, a fireman himself as well. But Stipe is actually a fake fireman, so he's not a fighter or a fireman. And now, yeah, that's a finish. That goes on your resume. That actually hurt his resume. Me, a Jones defender, a guy who he hides under the octagon to avoid a piss test. He does a lot of other stuff outside the octagon that I think, I'll have to use bleeps if I get into that stuff. And we're talking about this guy, bro. He's 37. He was the GOAT, in my opinion. Even this whole saga has had a negative effect on his resume. I will say that. Even more so than some of the other stuff he's done. So obviously that probably speaks more about me than him. But I don't think the fight will happen. I don't know why I keep going like this, like I'm on fucking Broadway. Kind of weird. But I don't think the fight will happen. So I think Aspinall will kind of, by default, be the champion. So if they were to fight, I think he would punt his head off into the second row probably. I don't think it would be a very close fight. So obviously I'm backing Tom Aspinall in a hypothetical fight. But in my opinion, it stays hypothetical. I don't see any reason. If I'm Jon Jones, I don't know why I would fight that guy. Again, he's the GOAT in my opinion. But why would he fight Tom Aspinall? I have no idea. So I think Tom Aspinall will be the champion. Now, again, if they don't fight, I mean, heavyweight sucks, dude. That could be a whole conversation on its own.
Jelton Almeida down the road. We'll get the title at some point.
I could see Almeida again. We've talked about his striking coming along. How good is his grappling? I mean, he was able to take down Blades at will. Blades kind of elbowed his face off, but he was able to get him down. That guy is jacked, dude. I mean, he's on. I guess they don't test. I mean, there've already been allegations that, like, if you live out of the country, they just, like, don't test you. Now USADA's not even around. Who knows if these guys get tested anymore. But, Almeida could be a guy. I don't even know who's next. If let's say John comes out tomorrow, he says, I'm not fighting Tom, or he would not mention him by name. He says, I'm retiring. I'm done. That's great. Who would Tom Aspinall fight? I don't even know. There's nobody there.
Maybe you just throw Cyril Gane in a.
That's what I was gonna say. Even though I think Gane lost a lot, the little hype he had left. Even though he beat
Vivek.
He just beat Volkov. Remember, like 2 months ago, but it was like a robbery.
Yeah, was that 2 months ago? Yeah,
that was in December. Yeah, that was October. That was like that was the Khamzat card, I think, and Volkov took him down.
No. I thought Gane got pulled out of that. Didn't he? No,
that fight happened. It was a snoozer, but it definitely happened.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so Gane won, but Dana said they'd take care of Volkov. Dana pretty much said it was a robbery. So, but yeah, so I think Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champ. Those are our predictions for the 2025 champions. A little bit of belt movement. We'll see. We'll probably be wrong about most of them because, actually, I don't know. But again, it always seems like the belt's not going to move that much. And then every year, you look at like just the past couple years, it seems to change a lot more than you'd expect. So that's what we got. 2025. Who will be the belt holders at the end of the year? Subscribe to the Patreon. Justin's going to break down the women's MMA picture. I got to go fucking to the grocery store or something. I don't know, but. Thanks for tuning in. A little more videos like that, hopefully soon. Not just fight breakdowns. We could get into some other stuff here, but yeah.
Comment, subscribe. Comment who you think is going to be champ come this time next year, 2025.